Hey guys, if you like the content, please be sure to like the videos and subscribe to the channel. Thanks. Hey everybody, Alex here, and we're doing a Swiss Born of the Gods draft. Uh, Pack is looking decent. Before I dive into it, just want to remind you to check out this week's SeemsGoodMagic card giveaway. Got the link right here, and then also check out Randy's Cube videos. He's back at it doing those videos, and they're always highly entertaining, so check that out too. Okay, on to the pack. Our rare is Scourge of Skolavale. It's a playable card. I'm not a huge fan. My favorite cards in this pack, I think the Archetype of Courage is actually the pick. This is a very powerful effect. 2/2 first strike's good. Taking away your opponent's first strike and giving all your other guys first strike? Yes, please. So I think we're going to pick the Archetype. What else is good in here, though? All the Bestow guys, the Nyxborn Wolf, the Shield Mate, the Flitterstep Eidolon. I like even the Nyxborn Eidolon. We could pretty much go any direction we wanted, but I really like this archetype in particular. This one might be the best one. Okay. Follow-up pick. Best card in this pack, perhaps the Nyxborn Wolf. Divination is good. Rollicker's playable in some sort of red-white aggro-y thing. Temple of Malice fixes us a little bit, gives us a little bit of scry action. Not too shabby. Green-white's playable. Obviously red-white's playable. I haven't done it in a while. Rollicker's not the most exciting follow-up pick, but certainly a playable card. Any sort of heroic strategy is going to love a 2-drop Bestow. Let's see. Black-white is okay if you can get some Scholar of Athreos and make that work, but I'm not really feeling the Servant here. I think I'm really just feeling the Nyxborn Wolf or the Rollicker. The Nyxborn Wolf is a better card, but the Rollicker lends itself to red-white deck a little bit better, so I think I'm going to take the Rollicker. Not the most exciting pick too, but if it works out, could be very good. Let's see here. Crowan Skyguard is quite good. Asphyxiate, good removal. I think we just want to go with the Crowan Skyguard. Very powerful card. Heroic is excellent. This has evasion. Not much else to say. Vortex Elemental, Reckless Reveler, both fine. Obviously the Asphyxiate, Revoke. So we could hope to wheel Reveler or Revoke. Sunbond, not so excited for that, but that's okay. So, yep, we're going to go with the Skyguard on that one. Alrighty, pick number 3, and we have some decision making to do here. Could pick the Silent Sentinel. Doesn't lend itself that well to a Omega aggro deck, but we could do more of a mid-rangey thing, and we don't necessarily have to play red, especially since there's not really any good red picks, I guess, for our strategy. Stormcall of Keranos, don't get me wrong, very good card. Not a huge fan of Impetuous Sunchaser. It does have evasion, but I don't like it that much. If I want to play Omega aggro, I could make it work. Something about it's just not that exciting here, especially on a pick 4. I don't know. It's probably early enough where we just want to take the best card, and I'm rapidly running out of time. Let's take the 7-drop. Silent Sentinel's not that good, but we could end up more mid-range, and that way I wouldn't mind having it. Well, here's a great pack for us. We can take the Everflame Eidolon. We can take a second Archetype of Courage. Also, Nyxborn Shieldmate, as well as Mortal's Ardor, Triton, Traction Helix, both good for blue. I don't know. I love Everflame Eidolon. That might be more reason to go deeper red. Otherwise, I could just stick to white, take a second Archetype of Courage. I certainly wouldn't be upset about that. I think there's enough upside to Everflame Eidolon to take it here. I mean, I guess there's a good chance red is being cut, so maybe we want to go white-blue. The safer pick would just be the second Archetype, I think. But if we end up white-red, I'm really going to want that Everflame Eidolon, so I'm going to take it. Okay. Here we can take Pegasus. We can take the second Rollicker. We can take a Thunder Brute. I like Pegasus a lot. It's nice having one drops. If you're aggressive, you're certainly going to want as many one drops as you can slam. And I like the Pegasus. I really don't mind going infinite on Rollickers. Getting all the bestow action you can get alongside Heroic is very strong. Thunder Brute's a little more expensive. I know I'm saying that after I picked the Silent Sentinel, but there's a good chance we're not playing Silent Sentinel. And I think what I passed up for it's not that big of a deal anyway. I think we're going to diversify a little bit and take the Pegasus. I'm going to want some good aggressive cards in this red-white beats deck. So let's take a nice one-drop flyer. Well, hey, this is kind of cool. We could take the Faded Conflagration. I don't have any problems with that. It's a removal spell. Very deep red, but if we're two-color, it shouldn't be too big of an issue. And you get to scry, too, at the same time. So otherwise, Ardor and Fearsome Temper, both very strong. Temper's very good card in aggressive strategies, but let's go for the more exciting pick of Faded Conflagration. I like removal. Okay. Yeah, we can pretty easily take the Cyclops of One-Eyed Pass. Certainly a playable card. Actually very good alongside the Archetype of Courage. Little 5-power first strike. Hard to argue with that. Alright, Rise the Challenge. Awesome late pick. Excellent, powerful card. Very good trick. Happily taking that here. This is our first pack too, so good to see a good red card wheel. Can't really ask for that every time. Epiphany Storm versus Greatheart. Both of them not so good for our deck, but I think we would prefer to cut the white, get a creature. We did wheel that Sunbond, but I think we're just going to take it to cut white and continue to cut. Yeah, let's take the Sun Chaser. It's better for our strategy than the Dreamfinder is, even though I think the Dreamfinder is probably a better card. So far, off to a decent start. Yeah, Wheel and Ardor too. Pretty nice. So, got a solid white-red base going. Let's see. Hopefully we can clean up in the Theros packs. I'm notorious for opening Anax and Simedes, and that would certainly be a nice addition to this deck. But additionally, opening an Ember Swallower, I certainly wouldn't complain about that. Culling Mark, sure. All right. And let's see here. Well, Temple of Triumph does work, but let's see if there's something better for us here. Believe it or not, there's nothing beyond the Temple of Triumph in this pack. Oddly enough, Keepsake Gorgon is, nothing for us. Keepsake Gorgon, Thassa's Emissary, Griptide, all these phenomenal off-color spells, but nothing we really want. We're going to take the Temple, not because it's worth anything, but because it's actual fixing, which looks reasonably important in here, and you get a scry, so yeah, I guess that is the pick. A little bit unfortunate of a first pick, but I don't really like the last breath and what we're trying to do. Definitely don't want your opponents gaining life. Oh, all right, excellent. So we got a Fire Drinker Satyr, usually very strong for the aggressive deck. Always want that 2-power. We'd have a couple 1-drops with 2-power. I'd like that a lot. There's also Fnatic of Mogus in here, which is certainly good. But I think the priorities in the red-white aggro deck, it's been a while actually since I've drafted it, but the priorities are still, you definitely want as many 1 and 2 solid, 1, 2, 3 drops should fill up the entire deck almost. Your like 4, 5s, and 6s better be pretty good to justify playing them. Like not Sunbond and like not Silent Sentinel or Greatheart. Cyclops I can still justify. But we're going to take the Fire Drinker Satyr. I also really like the Observant Alcid, but I'd rather have the 1-drop. I just think the early pressure is so key. Divine Verdict is certainly fine in this deck as well, but let's prioritize the... Oh, got an Ember Swallower. That's fantastic news. Excellent finisher. Love it. Love it a lot more than Stone Shock Giant. Being cheaper and Just everything about Ember Swallower makes me happy, so happily slamming that rare here and hoping to wheel, I don't know, maybe a Glare of Heresy for sideboard or a Chosen by Heliod. Wow. Well, we're easily taking favorite Hoplite here. Dragon Mantle, Peak Eruption, Satyr Rambler, all playable in here as well, but yeah, favorite Hoplite. Impossible to argue against that, in my opinion. Well, we're continuing to get good cards, and that makes me happy. So God's Willing is a fantastic anti-removal card, or Heroic Trigger. Well, it does both, so can't argue against that. There's really nothing else in this pack for us beyond that. Wild Celebrants is certainly playable, but not exciting. And yeah, Prowler's Helm is actually main deckable too in a deck like this. I totally think Prowler's Helm is a playable card in here. But let's go for the God's Willing, because it's better. Alright, so another good card, Flamespeaker Adept. Currently don't have a ton of Scry, or I guess we have God's Willing. We have the Fated Conflagration, and that is just about it. But that's okay. Flamespeaker Adept is fine, and the fact that it's human is actually relevant because Cavalry Pegasus is a playable card. Okay, here we're just going to take the Traveling Philosopher. Nothing special, but it's human, so also good as Pegasus, and it's a 2-drop creature, so hard to argue against it. Oh, look at this. Alright, so Arena Athlete versus Titan Strength. Titan Strength's a phenomenal card. Works a lot better with the Flamespeaker Adept, but I am a just enormous fan of Arena Athlete in general, and we actually have plenty of ways to target it right now. Taking out blockers in a deck like this, just too important. So we're going to take the Arena Athlete over the Titan Strength, unfortunately, for the Titan Strength, but not unfortunately for us because I still like Arena Athlete in a list like this quite a bit. Alright, we can take Spark Jolt. It's good against us, and it's at least a good sideboard card, so we'll leave it in the main deck for now, but more likely we're not playing it. Okay, a Crone Crusader is fine. I guess it's more relevant than Satyr Rambler. Getting all the 1-drops you can get is usually good in an aggressive deck, as I've said. So I think we're just going to make that work. We have plenty of ways to target it as well, so could make sense. Priest of Iorius, not the most exciting 1-drop, even when you're a deck like ours. Glare of Heresy, same sort of thing, but I feel more likely to sideboard into Glare, just because there's some fatty white creatures that if you play against, always nice to have a good removal spell for them. Alright, Peak Eruption, fantastic sideboard spell. I've definitely wrecked some faces with Peak Eruption before. Wild Celebrants will take it, possibly main deck it, but I have a feeling since we have a pack left, we should be able to make a more solid build happen. Alright, we are on to the last pack. We've got Polis Crusher, who I'd love to play, but not worth it in this deck, in my opinion. I think our pick is Fnatic. Got plenty of red devotion at this point, and he's just a good card. Hard to argue against it. Gonna deal some damage. Borderland Mantar also good. Cavalry Pegasus very good in this deck. We've got 1, 2, 3. Well, he already flies. 3, 4, 5. Wow. Actually, plenty of humans to make Pegasus work, but I like the Fnatic more. Nothing better than getting a 4-drop, 4/2 that lava axes your opponent. In a deck like this, phenomenally powerful. Alright, follow-up pick. There we go. Little Lightning Strike. Oh, man. Phalanx Leader, too. That's a tough one. Really tough one. I'm actually thinking what's more devastating. I think the removal... Oh, man. Oh, God. That is a tough pick. It's like one of the best removal spells you could possibly ask for this deck, or one of the best heroic creatures you could possibly ask for this deck. Man, that is a tough pick. I guess we have to go with the removal. The only reason is we already have a lot of creatures. Oh man. I don't know what to say. Phalanx Leader is so strong. I think we have to go with the Lightning Strike. That's tough. Really tough pick here. They're both so good for the deck. That is so difficult for me. I think we're going to take the Lightning Strike. I am not thrilled about it, especially... Oh, I really don't know. I'm drawing a blank on this one. I'm just going to go with my instinct, which says take the solid removal plus burn their face spell over the insane heroic guy. That was tough. Tough pick for me there. All right. Picks here. We've got Hopeful Eidolon, Battle-Wise Valor, Minotaur Skullcleaver. I think we can go with the Skullcleaver. I'm always a big fan of Skullcleaver, and I think people sometimes say I'm picking it too early or whatever, but I actually love the way it fits into this curve. And I don't know, just curving out with it can be so devastating. I think Hopeful Eidolon is a great card too. But Skullcleaver just looks like it fits well into this deck. And just getting that 4 points of damage in could be so devastating. I like the Battle-Wise Valor too, but Skullcleaver it is. All right. Wow. 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 So now we have Labyrinth Champ versus Heliod's Emissary. Jeez. Let me see how many targeted spells I have for this Labyrinth Champ. We've got God's Willing, Mortal's Ardor, Spark Jolt technically, Nyxborn Rollicker, Rise of the Challenge, Everflame Eidolon. That's a lot. That is a lot. Could also take the Heliod's Emissary though. Very difficult to argue against Heliod's Emissary. This card breaks games as well. I feel like since you can just nuke their face with Labyrinth Champ, it's probably the pick. How many did I say I had? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I only have 5. That's not a ton for Labyrinth Champ. Whereas, but it's a rare, and it's good rare. We're going to take the Champ. I want that Emissary, but I feel like Labyrinth Champ's got some huge potential upside here. Wow. All right, Wingsteed Rider. Yeah, hard to argue against that. God's Willing also in here, which is good, but yeah, Wingsteed Rider. All day, every day. Love that card. Excellent for what we're trying to do. All right, surprisingly no pick for us. I think we're just going to hate the Emissary. Could also hate the Satyr, but I think the Emissary is a little bit better. Oh my god, second Satyr? You gotta be you-know-whating me. Yeah, we're taking second Satyr easily. I've never actually had double Fire Drinker Satyr before. That is insane. Alright, we're taking the Philosopher. Likely not playing it, but you never know. Alright, Borderland Minotaur it is. And Scholar is actually annoying against us. I don't think we're sideboarding into... We already have one Spark Jolt, so this card could actually be really good against us. It blocks well against us as well as can bring them back into the game, so I think we're just going to take that out. Wow, Wheel of Battle-Wise Valor. Yeah, we're going to take that over the second Crusader. Happily. This deck's kind of sick. Kind of insanely sick. I don't think we're going to be needing you, Mr. Sun Chaser, but probably don't need to main deck that. Probably don't need to main deck the Crusader either. All of our 1-drops are presumably better at this point. Double Satyr, Hoplite, Pegasus. This deck's sweet. This deck is really sweet. I got to figure out what I'm cutting. Probably a Minotaur, probably a Cyclops, definitely the Wild Celebrants, and then what, one more? No, this is a deck. This is a deck, folks. Wow. This deck looks fantastic. It's got everything you could possibly ask for. Cheap creatures, good removal, all the humans in the world, which is I. Yeah, well, I guess I picked a good time to go back into red-white because this, like I said, this deck is very good. Very difficult for, I would think there's a tough argument for anyone saying this deck's not good. This is pretty much exactly what you want your red-white aggro deck to look like. Okie dokie, let's make this deck happen, huh? Double Satyr, which is still exciting me. Got an Arena Athlete, that guy, this thing, that guy, him, that guy. Wow. I've actually never had this many rares, I don't think, in my red-white deck. So that's exciting. God, this deck is really, really good looking. I need to stop saying that. Sorry, I just can't help it. This is an exciting red-white aggro deck. Let's see. Let's set aside our tricks, removal, etc. Pretty happy I picked up the Lightning Strike. I still would have been happy with Phalanx Leader as well, but Lightning Strike turned out to be one of our few pieces of actual hard removal in this deck. We have tricks, but we don't really have removal like Lightning Strike, so I think I'm still satisfied with that pick. Have a surprising amount of creature. Our creature to spell ratio is not quite as I thought it was. We have God's Willing, Mortal's Ardor, Rise the Challenge, Battle-Wise Valor as our buffs. Am I missing one? Maybe I'm not. Maybe that was it. Alright, well, this deck is a wee bit shorter on heroic triggers than I thought, but let's also factor the bestow guys. So if we're factoring bestow guys plus instants and sorceries, we have Rollicker, God's Willing, Mortal's Ardor. It's 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we really only have 6 spells that target heroic and boost it. So a little bit on the low side, a little bit. But let's keep in mind our only heroic spells are Favored Hoplite, a Crawling Skyguard, Wingsteed Rider, and Labyrinth Champ. So four heroic creatures, 6 ways to trigger heroic. That's satisfactory to me. But it's really the sort of the rares that make this deck exciting. So the double Satyr plus the Labyrinth Champ, Ember Swallower, Fated Conflagration. Low curve. Could get away with 16 lands. I don't think it's worth it, though. I'd rather just hit my spells. I mean, this guy rewards you for getting to 7. Quite a bit, let me add. This thing is good mana sink. Satyrs, mana sinks. Fated Conflagration is spell intensive. We have a scry land. We have some scry effects. So, yeah, very good deck, as I've said many times. And let's see what kind of lands we're doing. They say 9/7. I do agree we need more mountains than plains, but we also need plains early. I don't really want to... I mean, it's like 10/8 with the Temple of Triumph. Yeah, I can probably get behind that. I guess we could just do 8/8, and then it's 9 sources of each. I mean, it's pretty close. We do need triple red for Fated Conflagration, but I guess we need slightly more red for pump effects. Not necessarily with Satyr, but I mean, with Satyr, also with Everflame Eidolon. So I guess I could see the 9/7. Kind of feeling the 8/8 though. Let's do the 9/7. I think. Let me look at the exact stat breakdown here. 16 to 12. It's pretty close. We need both colors early. Let's do an even split. I changed my mind again. 9 of each source with the Temple of Triumph. And we definitely want both on... Yeah, let's do the even split. Okay. This deck's about... Oh, God, I would say it's probably in 8 out of 10. Something like that. It's very strong. It's my bread and butter strategy, and it's got pretty much a curve, an ideal curve, I think. All right, I'll see you round 1.